Folks, we are 4 weeks separated from the New Orleans jail escape that took place on May the 16th. And still at this point, sounding like a broken record, Antoine Massey and Derrick Groves still on the run. There has been little to no new information that has been shared in relation to sightings of these guys. And my opinion is they are all but gone with the wind. These guys have gotten away, and they have beaten the first 48 statistical odds. To put it into perspective a little bit, if you think about the TV show The First 48, the first 48 hours are most critical to a homicide investigation. Consider it a little similar with an escape situation. With every day that passes, the escapees stand an even better chance of potentially being gone for good. And again, in this particular case, involving these two escapees from New Orleans who have gained quite a bit of notoriety for themselves, it's starting to feel like the odds may potentially be in their favor. However, there has been two newer stories that have come out in recent days. One involving the grandfather of Antoine Massey pleading for his grandson to do the family a favor, do the right thing, and turn yourself in. We're going to hear what he has to say in this video. And also, the frickin' police chief of New Orleans is offering a consolation prize if Derrick Groves and Antoine Massey turns themselves in, saying they will work with them both to make sure that they receive legal help. Hearing what the police department is saying in terms of wanting to help these guys, it reminds me of those sting operations that take place from time to time where the police call wanted fugitives and tell them that they have won a prize. It sounds a little similar to that in my opinion. Do you think that any of these tactics will work? I don't. But regardless, let's go ahead and share the very latest in relation to these last two remaining fugitives, Derrick Groves and Antoine Massey, who have been on the run now for over a month. And I don't feel like they're going to be captured anytime soon. Let's start first with Antoine Masseys Grandfather with a story and a headline that reads, grandfather of escaped New Orleans inmate Antoine Massey pleads for his grandson's surrender. I hate to say it like this, but Pops, it ain't gonna matter. I know you want to see your grandson do the right thing, but he's running. And I don't feel like he's going to be giving up on that anytime soon. The grandfather of one of the escaped New Orleans inmates is pleading for his grandson to turn himself in as authorities continue their search. Lee Taylor, the grandfather of Antoine Massey, told CBS News he is concerned for his grandson's safety. I haven't slept. I haven't been eating and I've lost 15 pounds, Taylor told CBS News. I'm worried about what's going to happen to him. Massey, 32, is facing kidnapping, rape, domestic battery involving strangulation, and motor vehicle theft charges. In an Instagram post, a person claiming to be Massey stated that he's innocent. Speaking of that Instagram post, it looks like there's been a fourth post that has been made. At first, there was only 3 posts on that 007 Chucky account. Now there's 4, and this account is now private. Crazy to think that this account is still active. So could this, in fact, be that of Antoine Massey? You know, at first I was thinking that this was just somebody acting as if they were him. It would be unbelievable to think that this really is this guy's freaking Instagram account. The pastor of the family actually said we're doing everything in our power to defuse another jailbreak. I don't believe no one should have to break out of jail to express themselves and tell their stories to be heard. We heard you, Antoine. We need you to turn yourself in. Massey's grandfather said the jailbreak came as a shock to him and Massey's family. Taylor said law enforcement even searched his home, something he welcomed. But he's afraid that if a confrontation with law enforcement were to occur, it could end poorly. Talking about that between law enforcement and Antoine Massey. I give them credit for what they're doing because they keep me safe. That's their job. And I praise them for what they do, the grandfather said of law enforcement searching for Massey. But all I say is if you find him, treat him like a human being. Taylor says he hasn't heard from Massey since the escape, but he hopes Massey will hear his pleas. I want America to know my grandson is not as bad as they think he is. He's got a good heart. He just hasn't had the chance yet to really know what it takes for a man to be. He just hasn't had the chance yet to really know what it takes for a man to be. Sad to know the type of turmoil a situation like this could put on your family. And also kind of goes to show that, you're just selfish. Your intentions are selfish. You don't care about anybody but your damn self. You got on Instagram, you wanted to profess your innocence, saying, hey, look, I didn't do anything. I was let out. It wasn't me. It was the other guy. Whatever the case may be, you're putting all of this turmoil on your family, on your loved ones. Other people are getting arrested because they're trying to help you. They're thinking they're doing the right thing, trying to help you, and they're sitting in jail and you're not. I really just can't get down with feeling like this guy is a martyr for what he has done. I know that there's plenty of people who are rooting for this guy to get away. One of the sicker things that I'm seeing is, people trying to get clout off of saying that Derrick Groves and Antoine Massey have been arrested when they're just showing any random SWAT situation unfolding, saying, oh, look, hey, they got these guys just for some clicks and some views, spreading misinformation. That's a pain in the ass to dig through to try to get to the root of what is actually true in this situation. The underlying fact is what has remained for the last month. These guys are still on the run, no closer to being apprehended than on day one when they first escaped. Moving on to the second story in relation to this, talking about the police chief offers legal help if New Orleans fugitives turn themselves in. Folks, look at this woman right here. No disrespect to her at all, but does she honestly look like the type of person who's going to be helping these fugitives? I think not.
Opportunity to say to both Massey and to Groves, we can make this work. And because you are going to be taken into custody, folks, it's going to happen. And so please listen to me, and I will work with you. We will work with you, all of us. But you can reach out to any of us.
Think it's just a ploy? Hey, do the right thing. Turn yourselves in. We'll make sure that you've got adequate legal counsel. If there is any sort of defense for these guys who escaped, we've heard of the deplorable conditions at this Orleans Parish Justice Center. We've heard about the corruption in the judicial system down in New Orleans, the inadequate representation going into these court cases. Yeah, you're in a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. So what else are you going to do? When you're weighing out the reward versus the risk in terms of whether or not to actually escape, there's not much of a difference there. Whether you do and you get caught, what does it matter? It's sort of looking like for some of these people, you might as well try because you don't stand a chance no other way regardless. Nearly a month after Derrick Groves and Antoine Massey escaped from a New Orleans Parish Justice Center, NOPD Superintendent Ann Kirkpatrick is making a direct appeal to the fugitives and offering help if they turn themselves in. Speaking at a joint press conference with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, the ATF, Kirkpatrick said law enforcement officials believe at least one of the two escapees may still be in the New Orleans metro area, probably talking about Antoine Massey. She did not specify which fugitive that was, considering he's the one that's plastering his face all over the internet. And it seems like, the stuff that's coming out about him is from right in the New Orleans area. Derrick Groves may, in fact, be the smarter of the two, even if Antoine Massey was, in fact, the ringleader after all. In a surprise move, Kirkpatrick said she has arranged for legal representation for both men should they decide to surrender. Well, what if they don't? Does that offer go away and they don't get legal representation? She promised their return could be handled safely and at a location where the men feel comfortable. That's a really good point to bring up right there. Maybe these guys don't want to turn themselves in because they're worried they will be killed trying to do so. I don't particularly think you could harm these guys if and when given the opportunity to apprehend them. I'm quite certain there's been a bulletin that's gone out saying, if you get the opportunity to get these guys, do not shoot them. With the fandom that these guys are receiving, the fact that these guys are almost being looked at as heroes in this situation, you better not hurt them. The NOPD chief also emphasized that the total reward for information leading to each fugitive's capture now stands at $50,000. A figure she called life-changing for anyone who comes forward with a credible tip. Yeah, you better be living underground in a sewer system at this point, because for $50,000, your granddaddy going to turn you in. Anybody is going to turn you in at this point. But with the fact that nobody has thus far, either these guys are off the grid completely, altogether, or whoever they have helping them is as solid as it gets to not be tempted by that $50,000 reward money. Folks, that's all the new information that I have in relation to these escapees and any new information that I'm running across. Just wanted to bring this to you and hope you found some interest in this. If you did so, please leave a like and a comment on this video, letting me know exactly what you thought about everything that we shared here. And if you find yourself here on After Prison Show enjoying this content but not yet subscribed to this channel, please consider doing so, as it would greatly be appreciated and would go a long ways to helping to support this channel. As always, until next time, enjoy life, the free world, never take a moment for granted, and make the most of every day. Peace!